I'm going to take a second to talk to you about underdogs.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly, Eagles fly, Eagles on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird game nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly, the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, really time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco, thanks for tuning in.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly, the podcast. You know what it is. And I got a beautiful soul with me today. I have a beautiful guest with me, my guy, my brother, your guy, your brother, Joey Shakes. Joey, what's going on, brother?
Bro, I'm glad to come in tonight, talk about obviously some of the things that have happened. You just got back from vacation, so I hope you had a good vacation. And yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, man. So today is going to be a little bit different. I hit up Joey Shakes mad late, and I was like, listen, everybody's calling me pessimistic, so I want to hear what they have to think. So we're giving everybody 3 minutes. We have like an hour or so to go. So we got everybody. I'm going to drop the link in like 2 minutes. I just want to ask Joey one question before I do, but we're going to give everybody about 3 minutes. I want to answer one question. Do you think that the Philadelphia Eagles are ready for this season? Now, before I get people on here, I want to ask my man Joey. Joey, how do you feel about this Philadelphia Eagles team? Do you think that they're ready for this season upcoming?
I mean, if you want to take joint practice champions, then yeah, they are ready. But
baby.
That's the way it's going to get really confusing with the joint practices, that Nick Sirianni is kind of overvaluating these I'm not saying he's overvaluating, but I'm saying that he does value these joint practices as games, as competition games, which it is for some of these guys. I think it gets the juices flowing and gets a really good competition, which they have done well the past 4 joint practices. And, it's the decisions of what Nick Sirianni does with these preseason games like he did last week that kind of get me a little confused. So what I'm hoping is that, if they don't start anybody first, the Jets, which for me, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he started anybody. So I'm thinking they're going to rest for the next couple weeks, get them prepared, get them in the playbook a little bit more, and, maybe these practices will be a little harder. But, I mean, I get why he's doing it, but but at the same time, these guys need reps, and throwing. Even if Jalen Hurts did play last week when he didn't go to the hospital, if he did play last week, would he have had that offensive line in front of him? Probably not. It didn't seem like he was going to have that offensive line. That Nick was going to give this offensive line a little bit of a rest and have him run for his life the whole game. So I understand why he's doing it. Maybe it's just something we're not used to. Maybe it's just a different type of thing. Every team is different in the NFL of how they want to handle the preseason, handle these joint practices. I mean, joint practice, 100%, A+. I mean, we've done fantastic. I think there's a lot of video to prove that defensively, we've done a good job, and offensively with these weapons and Jalen Hurts, I think it's looked fantastic. But hopefully this transfers to NFL games. Gets me worried a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah. We talked a little bit in the background. It's a wait and see season. We'll definitely figure it out. I hope for the best. I hope that he proves me wrong. I am definitely worried about these practices, but we did drop the link, so the link is in the chat. If you guys want to join, we already do have somebody in here, so we're gonna bring them on in here. Now, remember, you have 3 minutes. I have a timer, Joey, so they're not getting away with it. I usually like I say 3 minutes, and then it's like 15 minutes. So it's gonna be 3 minutes this time. I have a timer and everything. So
nice.
First guest we got coming on. We got my man's Ref Taco.
Yo, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you. So, all right, the timer is starting. Once you start talking, I'm not gonna start it while I'm talking. But the one question we have for you today. Do you feel that the Philadelphia Eagles are ready for the season?
I would say so. I mean, I think that we have a lot of potential and talent that we have to use to, our ability. We have a lot of players that I saw, especially inside these preseason games and these joint practices that have done very good things that we might not see on the field. I heard like Quez Watkins. In my opinion, we have 5 good receivers. I think we have to get everything like out of every player, and we have to make sure that to be ready. I think that we have to just, I don't know. We just have to make sure that, like, everything is set in stone and, like, we know what we're doing. We have game plans ready. You know, week 1, we know what we're doing against the Falcons. We know what we do. We know what we do best. We know our weaknesses, and we're going to attack to our strengths. In my opinion, being ready isn't much of, like, making sure that we have great talent. It's making sure that we come into games prepared with, our game plan in attacking different parts of teams to then be able to beat them.
Definitely. So do these practices worry you at all? Like the length of the practices? Do you think they're getting enough reps?
I mean, I don't take practices too seriously, especially with, like, quarterbacks, because they got those red jerseys because they can't get hit because they're little scaredy cats. So, I don't think that practices mean as much as the real games, which I'm mainly looking at the preseason games. But the things that I've seen in the practices are definitely good.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. We got like a minute left. I want to know, what do you see this team as? Did this offseason change your mind at all about who this team is to you? Do you think we're a better team than you thought, or a worse team, kind of the same? Where are you at?
I think, like, going into the offseason, I was pretty nervous because I didn't know what we were doing with Carson Wentz and a bunch of things. But I think that we did well. We did a thing that I've always talked about. We rebuilt, but we still got better. We were able to get a bunch of these players. So I think that we can win 7 to 9 games, maybe 10. But definitely we're going to be able to compete. I think all 4 teams can in this division.
Now, did you hear that? Did you guys hear the timer? I'm so
the little mouse noise. I don't know what that was, but I heard something though. But you know what? 7 to 9 games is probably perfect. I said about 7 to 9 games, and if they really surprise me, I'd say 10 or more. I mean, but that's if everything goes as planned. So
definitely, yeah. I'm excited for this team. I definitely the one thing you said that really hit perfectly, in my opinion, is the red jersey comment. Today I was covering the practice. And the thing I heard a lot, well, I don't want to say a lot, but a little bit too much for my liking, is that the Jets defensive line had to hold up because they didn't want to hit Jalen Hurts. I don't even want them that close. So that was a great point. But Ref Taco, we're gonna get some other people in here. I appreciate you so much for coming through, man.
All right, peace.
Yes, sir. Man. Have a good one, bro. Now shout out to Snapback Jug. He said if we ran a 40, who would win? I'm giving that to Joey. Because I walked around Philly for like an hour and almost died. So I'm pretty sure I couldn't even run 40 yards. But so I'm giving that to Joey. Yeah, I
don't know. I mean, I haven't done that in a while.
Seriously, but
yeah.
All right, so
Joe, real quick, like quick question, like what? So if this team comes out real sluggish, real slow, like not prepared, I mean, is this on Nick at the end of the day? Is this on Nick Sirianni at the end of the day?
I would say if they come out and they're not, there's no continuity, there's no, rhythm, there's no juice there, you could just tell they're not gelling, especially at the quarterback position. As much as we've held him out, I definitely would put it on him. And running backs too. I mean, we've seen nothing from our running backs, if you ask me. Like we've barely run them in preseason and practice. What can you really tell about a running back? Especially when you're not hitting that hard, you're not going full, speed. I definitely do feel so. I definitely feel, because I feel like the talent's there. Like we asked Howie, we had a wish list, right? This offseason. I think he hit pretty much everything we wanted. So, I mean, now it's got to be on coaching, in my opinion. I think he doesn't get a free pass on this, unless it's Howie telling him to run his practices like this. But
I don't see that. I mean, then they're dumb. If that's the case, then what's the point of bringing in a new coaching staff? Should have kept Doug then if that was the case. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. At that point, just let Howie be the coach. If that's what he's going to do, if he's going to be out here coaching, you might as well let him be the coach. to me, it has to be on him. He has to be held accountable because this is different. If he was doing it like everybody else and it didn't work, then we have to look in deeper. But he's doing so much different, and he's acknowledging that his is so much different. So, we have to hold him accountable. There's really nobody else, in my opinion, that can be held accountable for it. But I see some people saying no and stuff. So, but hey, we'll see. So next we got my guy Philadelphia Eagles. Your mic is muted, so unmute your mic so I know you're here. All right, good. Who's there? What's going on, brother? What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Living a dream. So, all right, so 3 minutes. I need to know. Do
Yes,
you
sir.
think that the Philadelphia Eagles are ready for this season?
I think they can be more prepared with some things, and I think at the same time, I think they could, and they are and can be ready. I think they still see them from like practice and like depth charts, and with people getting hurt, like Sean Bradley would have grown, Kayvon Wallace getting hurt. I just need them to be ready, and I don't be wanting to see injuries all the time. I just be wanting them to at least get a little bit of work in, and then get rested back so they can be ready for the season. You know what I'm saying? So
Now, how do you feel about these practices? Are these practices making you worried at all?
yes and no, and I'm worried that somebody might either wind up getting back hurt in the season. This might not be our season. Like, and at the same time, it is our season. You know what I'm saying? And I have hopes in this team, and I think this team can win games and get us, stuff. I mean, where places in life, and just be prepared. I just think they need to. Seeing that last practice today against the Jets, and with Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts, I'm happy with Jalen Hurts right now. My dog, he's doing good. He's doing the ball, and hopefully he can do that when we play the Falcons. And we can get in the end zone and just score and get in it and score fast. And I think going up to Atlanta, that's a dub for us, to be honest.
He's in that mode. He's definitely in that mode. I like to hear that. So I'm going to ask you a question that Joey asked because I like that question. Do you think it's on Nick Sirianni if things start off a little bit slow?
Yes, to be honest with you, because if some things start slow, then I'm gonna end up on Nick Sirianni's side. I'm like, come on, man, you gotta get this team has to be in full potential. And I know like some of the teams we play on our schedule and stuff like that is hard. And like we always say, we can't always win games. You know what I'm saying? And we can't always lose games. And like I told my friend, that's an Eagles fan. I was like, even if this team goes 0-12 or whatever, I'm still stick with this team, and nothing's gonna change.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's definitely how it's supposed to be. I mean, I'm excited about this team. I really am. And I don't want people thinking I'm coming on here like, oh, we're going to be terrible. We're going to be terrible.
Right.
Right. But yeah, no, I think we have to, as Eagles fans, be a little bit realistic. See that this is very different. This is very different from what we're used to. So let me throw this question out to everybody on the panel while we got you on here. Which players are you guys most concerned for this season?
I'm concerned about Miles Sanders because I'm feeling like he might end up like dropping the ball too many times. We might get it turned over. I just need his hands. Like if you're going to feel like he's going to catch it, try to get the ball. And if it drops, just and if coach sees you, or like for example, if I'm on the sideline and I'm like, dude, you could have caught that. I hope he's prepared and he's ready. I just want him to be the same Miles Sanders when it comes to when we play the people on our teams.
Yeah, these running backs are going to be in the passing game this year. So I mean, everyone's got to be prepared. Even Jordan Howard's going to be in the passing game this year. So
right.
If Miles Sanders don't step up or he's dropping too much, I mean, that's what Doug didn't do last year. I mean, 2019, like I thought Miles was great in the passing game, and then they strayed away from it last year. Now you have a chance to do it again, but now you got some other backs behind there now. Kenneth Gainwell is definitely someone to look an eye on because he is a dual threat back that can do a lot or more than Miles Sanders. We're not going to know, but I think there's something there with Kenneth Gainwell, so I'm excited about that.
Yes, and I'm just
Kenny G's that dude. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and before I know my time is up, but I'm gonna try to spit some things out. But like I'm just hoping that this team is ready, and I'm probably go back because I've been in school lately, and I haven't been really seeing like the conferences of like Miles Sanders from like Jalen Hurts previous conferences. So I'm probably go back and watch those and see what's going on. But I feel like this team is ready, and I think they can be prepared at the same time. But at the same time, they still need to put in the work, and we need to want it. Like we went up to New York, we up there in Jersey right now, and we freaking had our last podcast and we got this preseason game on Friday night. So if that game doesn't turn out, I'm probably just cut it off. But I'm hoping we could put in that game and get that dub in.
Yeah, I need to see a win, man. I know wins don't matter. I know it doesn't matter,
right,
but at least a couple scores. I'll tell you, I just paid $300 to see my team not even score. You know what I'm saying? To not even see my team score. That hurt.
You say you went somewhere too?
Yeah, so I won tickets. Shout out to DSM Media. I won tickets to go see the Eagles preseason game, but I live in Florida, so I had to buy tickets last minute. So tickets are crazy expensive. So it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But Philly girl wants to know who you are. So shout out to her. She wants to know who you are. I can't find where the thing is, but she said somewhere.
She want to know who I am?
Yeah.
I'm Rashad, aka the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, his backup player, Jalen Hurts.
There we go.
There we go. The Rashad of the chat. I think yes, that's me. I'm the guy that's called the Jalen Hurts. You see me with different profile every time, but today I'm sticking with Jalen Hurts. Something stands sticking out there.
There we go. That's what we want to hear, man. Rashad, I appreciate you coming through, man. Spending that game as always. You know how it goes, man. I appreciate you. But have a good one.
All right, you too.
Yeah, bro.
All right, so I want to ask you this because I think people are scared to come on right now, but it is what it is. We'll let them trickle in. I do want to ask you about this running back situation because realistically, we obviously saw Kerryon Johnson leave. You know, Kenny Gainwell has been going crazy, like you said. How do you know? And I feel like we were starting to feel like we're going to trend towards more of a running game, more of a running team, I should say. Just what are your thoughts on this running back core? You know, like have you seen enough to really say we're going to be a running team?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like even when you have Miles Sanders has had some issues, but I think it's going to be a great gadget runner. I mean, they're going to use so many guys. I mean, there's so many these defenses have to prepare for so many running backs as of right now. Kenneth Gainwell is just all speed. I mean, you could line him up in the backfield. You could put him as a receiver. You could do a whole bunch of different things with him. You know, Jordan Howard's going to win the bruiser job over. It really depends on. They have the 2 extra roster spots. I don't know what they're going to use him at. I would say they use him at wide receiver, and I would honestly say use it at running back as well. Why not have 4 or 5 running backs this year? I don't see why not. I think Jordan Howard will beat Elijah Holyfield just because Holyfield, his pass protection isn't good. There's some. I think he deserved the chance. He was activated for 1 game last year, and they didn't even give him one. They didn't give him the ball once. They activated him, and I was excited, and they didn't give him the ball. So as of right now, with Jason Huntley back there, that probably could be special teams at this point, maybe kick return. I don't know what they're doing there yet, but with Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Jordan Howard, and you could have Boston Scott back, which I don't mind either, but I think they're loaded at running back. I think there's different skill sets. I mean, you can use Jordan Howard in a bunch of ways as a bruiser, but when he gets to the second level, gets the physicality, drags him for another 7 to 10 yards, not even just that, but you can use him as a finisher too. You could tire out defensive lines. This way you can pass the ball, get that defensive line tired. So there's a bunch of different ways they could use these running backs. And I think we've been loaded at running back. We just had to see, who are the top dogs coming out of camp. So I think you're going to keep 4 or 5 running backs this year.
Yeah, I hope so. I would love to see just a slow pace. I know a lot of people like the flashy, throw touchdowns, throw 60-yard bombs. I would love slow-paced, defensive-driven games. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see that. So, all right, so we got some more people coming on here. We'll get some more opinions on here. So we got Uncle Drew coming in. What's going on, brother? What's going on?
What's happening, gentlemen? How you guys doing?
Can't complain, man. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. So, the question. We're giving everybody 3 minutes. I want to know, do you think that this Philadelphia Eagles team is ready for the 2021 season?
Man, hey, you know what? I'll say they have no choice but to be, right? They really. I mean, we're here. I mean, whether they play the starters or not, Friday, which they probably won't, which tells me that this is what we have is what we're going to see in 2021, right? And I've said this before. To me, the biggest question for this team is the coach and the quarterback. And if those 2 guys can get connected, then I think I don't know what the season's going to look like. I mean, I'm kind of like around the 500 area. That's just me being just realistic. but you never know. But if the coaching quarterback can get connected and we can get things going, and Jalen Hurts is the guy that we hope he is, then you never know in this trash division that we play in, right? I mean, you got the cow turds over there where their coach is the worst. My dog is a better motivational speaker than their coach. It's horrible. He's terrible. You know, you got Dak and Zeke exchanging, you know, gifts, and it's just ridiculous over there, you know. So the Eagles have a good chance. To touch on the running back situation, I think that the thing that make the Eagles really intriguing to me is, I think we have the best offensive line in the division and maybe top 5 in the entire conference. And I think we have, me personally, I think we have the best defensive line. I mean, you can argue Washington, but we got guys who are battle tested. They're veterans mixed in with some younger guys. So I think we have those two things in a good football team. You're going to have the offensive line, the defensive line have to be straight. I think we have the best in the division. And now with the offensive line, if they stay healthy, with the team of running backs that we have, dude, the Eagles can do some damage. You know, you got Sanders, you got Howard, and these young kids coming up. I mean, Scott, we know what Scott does, but the kid we drafted, I mean, it's exciting. And, you know, we don't have Dougie back in there, you know, throwing the ball 40, 70 times. So I think we are going to see a more established running game, which I'm excited about. And I think one of the things for our offensive line, if you get those guys out there smashing people, punching them in the mouth, then, you know, then that's the recipe for a good team, a good season. So, I'm excited, but I'm tapering my expectations and I'm tapering my excitement just to see what we do. But I think that the Eagles can make some noise. But if the coach and quarterback can get it together, man, and they can get on the same page with the offensive line, defensive line, the Eagles might surprise some people.
Yeah. And to go on your point of the defensive line, I love saying this to people because I've had some Washington creators on here, Dallas or whatever. And, you know, we had Ryan Kerrigan on the show. Obviously, we've interviewed Ryan Kerrigan. And I try to tell him, you know, oh, you guys had a great defense. And he was quick to tell us, no, the defensive line in Philadelphia is ridiculous. So I 100% agree with you. We have, I think, a top 5 offensive line if healthy. And I think top 6, maybe, you know, I think top 5. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Top 5 defensive line
agree.
When healthy. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to this team, bro. I really am. But
and if you want to talk about the offensive line, I mean, really you're worried about that right side mostly because Brandon Brooks with the 2 Achilles, and not even 2 days in training camp, he already had a hamstring injury. So I don't know if he's going to hold up. I hope he does. Lane Johnson with the ankle injuries the past couple seasons. So, I mean, that right side makes me a little nervous, but I hope they stay healthy this year because if Brandon Brooks gets hurt, I don't know what's going to happen. To this point, I don't know if there's a point to keep him after this year if he misses a lot of time. So, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I think when healthy in a perfect world here, in a perfect world, I think our defense and offense could be top 10 this year just because, I mean, the trenches, the one thing that Howie has done over the years is he makes sure the trenches is good and obviously with some depth behind it, you know, so we'll see, but it should be interesting though.
And here's why I'm optimistic with the O-line is, you know, with Doug, you know, props to Doug, you know, I don't want to throw no shade to Doug, but if you're O-lineman, and, you know, your quarterback is dropping 40, 50 times to pass protect, then that means they're always on the offense. You know what I mean? Because that pass guy, those defensive men are coming at him, so they're always on the back pedal to defense. If you're running the football, now that switches it up. The old lineman now is the aggressor. Now he's looking to pull in stunts. He's looking to punch the lineman in the face. He's looking for those linebackers to destroy those guys. So I think that with that mentality, along with the style of play that they're running, hopefully that's a recipe to where we don't see a whole lot of injuries where you're putting guys, you know, backpedaling all the time and just, you know, being, these guys are just coming at them.
Definitely. Yeah. Uncle Joe, I'm going to get some more people on him though, but it was good hearing from you, man.
Before I get out of here, man, shout out to you guys. You know, I'm always watching you guys in the chat banging on these cow turd fans, man. Go Birds!
Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Drew.
God bless, man. Have a good night. All right, so now before I get the next guest in here, I do want to just make a quick announcement, if you don't mind, Joe. It'll take 2 seconds. But tomorrow, we do have my man's Fran Duffy coming on the show. If you are a member, you will see it at 1 o'clock. If you are not a member, you'll see it around 7:30. But tomorrow, 1 o'clock, if you're a member, definitely be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now let's get into this next guest. Now, this next guest, a lot of people probably know. You know what I'm saying? Mitchell Koski. Mitch, how's it going, brother? How you doing, man?
Not much, man. Just relaxing right now. How you guys doing?
Chilling.
So the vibe today, the question of the day is, you got 3 minutes to tell me whether or not you feel comfortable with these Philadelphia Eagles going into the next season. Are they ready?
They gotta be, right? I just feel like they gotta be ready. Their backs are against the wall right now. They're unpredictable. And with this offense, with everyone with the same speed and built around Jalen Hurts, that's a positive in my eyes. Because last year we had Whiteside being like the number 1 or 2 option, and that didn't work for Jalen Hurts in those 4 games. So I'm like, based on that alone, they got to be ready. And the defense is going to be top 10, I feel like, because they got Nelson, Wilson, Kerrigan, Harris, you name it. They got these guys who fit the schemes, and what do you know? It's going to work out. I have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think.
My
bad. You go.
No, go ahead, Joey. Joey, please.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying because it's. I think it's such a mystery because we have so many new players, so many fresh faces that when you have guys that have been here, you're like, okay, we know what's going to happen. We feel more comfortable going to the season, but because we're going towards a youth movement right now, I mean, we have a starting receiver corps not even over 24 years old. I mean, it's crazy. It's young and it's exciting. It's a breath of fresh air. So that's all I want to do. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I think it's everywhere too. You look at the defensive line. You got people like Milton Williams, that look like they're really making some strides. Patrick Johnson's made some good plays. I don't think he's ready to be, a full-time guy yet, but he's made some plays. He looks like he might get some run. But how are you feeling, Mitch, about these practices? Because, everybody goes in on me, and this is what I really wanted to know, because I feel like we didn't get enough work in. So I just want to know, how do you feel about these practices? Do you think that they really prepared us for the games?
For the practices, I mean, it's good to see that they're putting in work, but as like Iverson said, it's practice, right? We're talking about practice. We need the real game. So I'm glad they're putting in work, but it's just practice. I need to see it with my own eyes on a Sunday, 1 o'clock against the Falcons. I need to see it then.
I respect that. Do you think we've gotten better? Like from the beginning of the offseason, when we first started all this, we were making all our predictions. Do you think that the Eagles are a better team than when they started this offseason and training camp?
Yes. Obviously, yes, because just the vibe alone is better. You could see last year the vibe was down. No one was talking. Like, it was just a bad vibe. But with the vibe this year, with Jalen Hurts at the helm, I feel like it's getting a lot better. And with the coaches, I have so much respect for Sirianni and Gannon and all those guys on a new year, on a rebuilding year. And it's just a good sign in my opinion. So they're definitely much better.
I'll take that.
I agree with that, Marilotta. Yeah.
There was a question that I wanted to ask you before I got you off here. That thing scares me all the time. I got to get used to this.
What is that?
It's like a little timer thing.
Oh, I thought that was so it is a phone. I was right. Okay.
Where was the question? This is the one I wanted to ask you. Before I get you guys out, I want to ask both of you guys this. This is a good question. He said, has JG been too vanilla with the defense, or do you think he's doing a good job from what we've seen?
I think he's doing a good job for what we've seen. It's still unpredictable. So I'm like, for what we got right now, I think he's doing a good job for what we got right now.
I mean, he's not going to give away everything. Plus, he's already talked about why he's not blitzing. He's not blitzing because he wants to see what these guys could do on their own. I mean, he wants to see the maximum production out of some guys. Like, that's why Nick's not really giving away everything in this offense. I mean, should you run some plays? Definitely. But, I mean, it's going to be disguised coverages. It's going to be different schemes. With 4-3 to a 3-4, they're going to be moving defensive linemen around, which I really like a lot. Moving defensive ends to tackles to ends. I mean, there's so many different things they're going to be doing with this defense. He just doesn't want to give it all away. Like, I don't think it's too vanilla. I think he's only giving it vanilla-esque just because of where we're at with preseason and doesn't want to give too much. Obviously, when the cameras are off and nobody's around, then they'll start, I think they have been doing it, but they've been doing it when it's, obviously closed off to the media and stuff. They're doing their own thing. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I like John Gannon. I mean, I think, I forget who it was I was talking to, but they said they've never seen somebody, control the team from the sideline like he does. Like, the man doesn't have to be on the field. They hear his voice. It's one of those things. Like when your mom yells, doesn't matter if she's like down the street, you hear that because you're gonna get pow pow as Spanish people say. But Mitch, we're gonna get you off here, man. I appreciate you coming through, brother.
Yep. Thank you.
Tell them where they can find your channel too before I get you off here.
You can find me at Mitch Koski right here. Easy said and done. Same with Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. So
there we go. There we go. All right, Mitch. I appreciate you coming through, man.
Thanks, Mitch.
Yep. See you guys.
So yeah, I mean, look, I like John Gannon. I'm not gonna lie. And Philly Girl said, no. I just want to let you know, Philly Girl, there's no such thing as stupid questions. But she says, stupid question. I just want to know what the hell vanilla is supposed to mean. So
basic.
Exactly. It's just we're not going too deep into our playbook. Nothing. He's been talking about doing a lot of pre-snap movement and stuff like that. You're not seeing that in the preseason, so that's all they really mean. But on the offense, honestly, I don't think it really means much because what are you going to do? Make new plays? Like, I don't really know what he's holding back. But
no, I wouldn't even take that too seriously just of how basic it is. Like, you're just giving guys looks. When you play preseason games, you're just giving guys looks. You're not scheming against the defense. I mean, you're not really doing that. You're calling plays and you're giving certain players that you want to see and you're just giving them looks, and that's really all they're doing until we get prepared for Atlanta. Then it's a whole different story. So
Exactly. All right, so we'll get a couple more people in here, man. So next we got Big Play Slay in the building. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up,
Yo.
y'all? How you doing?
Chilling, man. So you know the vibe, you know the question. I ain't even gonna ask it again, bro. You know what time it is. Your time starts now. I've always wanted to say that.
Are we ready? Man, that's a tough question, but I think we are. I mean, we got all the film we needed. We got everything we've done this offseason. Everything has come to Now it's just time to implement this all on the field. I've heard all these rumors, all these things about us, inside the Eagles. And I agree with what Joey Shake said about I agree about what he said about the whole Gannon thing. It may look vanilla right now, but when the cameras are closed and they're not looking, the media's not out there, it's a different defense. Because Gannon, I like Gannon because he is a guy that he doesn't want to give things away. Same thing with Sirianni. They want to do this in the game, like actual regular season football, to put a shockwave in the NFL. But I think the Eagles are ready for this season. They have to be ready. They've said everything. Now it's time to go put it on the field.
Yeah. How about these practices? I know I keep asking them, but this is. Man, you see all the people in my lives yelling at me. So, do you think that these practices realistically got us ready for this season?
I don't even know how to feel about that because at the same time, it's just practice.
But it's not.
Yeah, it's practice. It's practice.
But we're 4-0 in these practices.
I don't get it. It's practice. You can do this and that in practice, but as Allen Iverson said, I'm not trying to copy you, Mitch, but it's practice, bro. It's practice. Nothing. I mean, you could say you've seen Wellington play from here, from Quez Watkins. He's been a highlight reel. I believe everything they've said about him because he's constantly done it this entire offseason. But at the end of the day, it's practice. But I think some of the things you may have seen is a little bit true in practice, like Sirianni and his offense, how high-pitched offense they're going to be. They're going to be a high-pitched offense, a fast, quick-pace offense. That's what I think they're going to be like this year. But it's practice, my guy. I don't know how to respond.
But at least to an extent, are these joint practices valuable?
A little bit. I'll say a little bit because you're playing a team. So it's your guy against their guy, who wins best of, and then you get to see who wins between those guys.
I feel that. I hope that these practices mean something because
Mhm.
they're just a little bit too controlled for me. You're not going to see Nick Sirianni go out there on third down and be like, "No, can we switch it to a 3rd and 4? That's what we
Yeah.
practiced. That's
What
you
is
know what I'm
that
saying."
noise?
The apple pie is ready out of the
The
oven.
apple
Yeah.
pie is out. The apple pie is out. But no, we got some more people. We actually got it full now, so I'm gonna start getting some more people on. But Big Play Slay,
Yeah.
let them know where they can find you before we get you off here, man.
Hey, you can just go find me at Big Play Slay on YouTube. I'm not the real Darius Slay, but you
What?
can just go simply type that in, and then you go find my channel. And I think I'm the first thing that pops up. So, and please subscribe to both of these guys above me. I don't know what you're doing if you haven't subscribed to them. This is the idol right here. This guy, Joey, and this
The
guy.
goat, man. That's the goat
Yeah.
right there.
But peace out, guys. Have a good one.
All right,
Yes,
Slay.
sir.
See you
God
later, man.
bless, man. Shout out to my guy Bird Gang 951. Thank you for the pen. I think I said this before, but thank you for that. With the $5 super chat saying, "What's good, fam? Going to miss this one. Damn, heading to work." Yeah, this is very last minute. Ask Joey. I literally just randomly messaged him. I was like, "You coming on the show today? You ready?"
Yep, sure.
So next we got my guy Vic Three coming in here. Vic, what's good, brother?
What's good, fellas? How we doing tonight?
What up, bro? How you doing, man?
Living the dream, living the dream. So you know the question. I'm gonna set the timer for the oven roast, and we're gonna get this going, man. How do you feel about these Philadelphia Eagles? Do you think they ready?
Yeah, man, I think they're ready. That was the whole reason of, going into training camp and, doing these off-season workouts, OTAs. They have nothing but to be ready because the season's coming up. I mean, like, time doesn't stop for anybody. I mean, no man can stop time. So, yeah, they have to be ready at this moment. And I'm hearing everyone saying, like, it's just practice, it's practice. What you're not realizing is training camp is the most important time for practice throughout the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we get ready. That's how we prepare for the season. So let's not act like it's nonchalant. Yeah, we see a lot of things vanilla. Yeah, we see the defense out there just not really doing much and not stunts or anything like that. But there's a reason for that. Like, I feel like this coaching staff has a plan, and by the way they're going, everything's checking off the box. They're on course. They're doing what they want to do. We don't know what the plan is, and that gets us a little worried because in Philadelphia, we tend to overreact sometimes, and I think that's what this is right now. It's a little overreaction. Again, they have their plan.
Never.
Yeah, man. But like I said, like they have their plan. They know what they're doing, and by the way it looks like, there's no cause for concern right now. You know what I mean? Like we're not going into the season with major injuries, so we have to be happy. We have to look forward to that.
It's hard for me for these guys to go into the first game and like have no swag and have I just can't see them having a slow start. I just see them so prepared, and I think it starts with Nick Sirianni with the new culture, bringing it in here, and it's really going to come to Devontae Smith and gravitating these players towards him and wanting to play with him. And I don't want to believe it's going to be a slow start. I hope it's not, but I just don't get that reaction out of these players and the things they say and what they're doing in these joint practices. I know it doesn't mean much to a lot of people. Me, I'm like half and half on it, but at the same time, you're still facing another jersey, even though you're not, you're not sacking your quarterback, you're not hitting the quarterbacks, but where it's realistic and he's getting chased and you have to throw the football and make some big plays, that's where it counts. And we've been beating up on everybody, so it's hard for me to say they're going to have a slow start. It really is, but I hope it doesn't happen. But it's going to be really exciting. I can't wait till they hit the field first week. I'm pumped.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't see a slow start at all because you got to think about it. We had our starters that haven't really played. We've seen a lot of guys in there. They're competing, they're fighting for a spot. So their mind is just on competing and getting their position. Now we have these guys who have been held back this time, and they're going to be raring to go. When the season starts, they're going to want to hit someone. You know what I mean? They're going to want to make some waves. So I don't see a slow start at all.
I hope not. And I know me and you've been arguing about this, man, back and forth on a couple different platforms. So now that I got you face to face, you ain't running. No, realistically, what do you really think about these practices? I mean, look, aside from are they getting us ready, this is new for us. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that, are you concerned at all about these practices, the length of them, the intensity of them? Do they concern you at all?
No, I'm all for the joint practice because if you look at it, these are replacing our training camp games. These are the preseason games for us now. Our starters are getting their time in during these joint practices. And like I said before, we're not going into this season with an injury. So yeah, I think these joint practices are very beneficial.
Definitely, yeah. And I had the worst preseason game ever, but at least you're enjoying these joint practices, right?
Well,
That's all that
hold
matters,
on.
Vic.
Let me point this out because when Thursday went down, we went live. The first thing we were talking about was you, and everybody's like, "Oh, Joey." But I want to say this. Like I think I mentioned you earlier. You got to see Devonta Smith. I didn't get
Yeah,
to see him at all. You know what I mean?
I
Like there were
loved it.
players out there. Yeah, there were players out there that you didn't get to see. I didn't get to see the full team out there. You know, I might have seen Hurts for maybe what I think he played 2 series, if that. But I didn't get to see everyone you did. So like you had the benefit of seeing the whole team pretty much out there.
So if we put together our notes, we saw the whole team, and we can really make a actual analysis
Yes.
of about to see. But Vic, before I get you off here, I know you've been on a couple different shows. You're doing your thing right now, so please let people know where they can see you, man.
Yeah, man, you can always find me on the chats, Twitter, Vic Three. And you can catch me every Saturday. Sometimes we'll do a Friday and Thursday, depending on the preseason game and the situation. On the East Meets West podcast, like I said, every Saturday night, 9 p.m.
Definitely, man. Vic, I appreciate you coming through here. You know you family, so I appreciate you, bro. And Mitch Koski just said, Vic, make a damn channel already. There you
I
go.
know he constantly. Hey, but the next time you see me, I'm gonna have that Jalen Hurts, charged up shirt. Got that ready.
There we go. I love it. Yeah, I appreciate you. All
Hey
right,
man,
Vic, we're gonna get
everybody
started. I'll talk to
subscribe
you
to them.
soon.
Hey, yeah, no doubt. But look, subscribe to them and Joey, get at his merchandise because it's fire.
Appreciate
Yes,
it,
sir.
bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
All right,
Be
man.
easy,
Thanks,
brother.
Vic.
Yeah, man, you too. Have a good one.
Too, man.
All right, so we got like 3 more people. I'm gonna close off the call-ins. We got like 3 more people. We'll go like another 15 minutes and we'll get out of here. This is a lot of fun. I'm trying to get as many people as I can because I want to hear what y'all thinking. Y'all making me a little bit more excited. I feel a little bit better. So next coming in, we got Jordy Fighter. So the 3 people that we have in right now, you guys are it. So we got Jordy Fighter, Dennis Watson, and somebody just named Jay. So if you guys leave, you're not coming back in, so don't leave. So just be patient. Jordy Fighter, what's going on, brother?
Bro.
Nothing much. How you guys doing?
Living the dream.
Exactly.
The dream. Don't wake me up until November. You know what I'm saying? I forgot the song. I'm not gonna lie. But look, the apple pie is in the oven. I'm starting the timer. Let me know. Do you think that the Philadelphia Eagles are ready for this season, man?
Yes, from a player standpoint. I'm not necessarily sure from a coaching standpoint. There's a lot of sprinkling in of veterans and young guys at a lot of different spots. So there's going to be a game day mentality when it comes to it that translates. Jalen Hurts has the locker room. They've gravitated to him. He's going to bring a game day mentality that they're going to feed off of. So all in all, even if they're not ready, they're going to be ready. From a coaching standpoint, I don't know. Because it's all going to come down to what do they show up with when it comes down to game time, and what do they do when they have to do tweaks or changes or show different looks? Because this coaching staff is unpredictable in both a good and a bad way. It's also very young, which means they bring a lot of good ideas, but that also could be their downfall. From too many ideas to too hasty to make changes, that'll have to be shown in time. But ultimately, they're going to have to be ready.
That's a fact. That is a fact, man. So, I mean, look, this is a question I've been asking some other people. From the beginning of this offseason, beginning of this training camp, going back to even last year, do you think that this Philadelphia Eagles team is better? Did they get better than last year?
Yeah, you added pieces to the D line. It's got a lot more depth than it did last year in terms of rotation. Linebacker actually looks somewhat decent, leading with 2 coverage linebackers in Eric Wilson and Alex Singleton. The offense, although now inexperienced, has gotten a bit younger. They've added pieces along the trenches, and in the secondary, we've gotten better. So through this offseason, we've definitely gotten better. And even more so throughout camp and everything because of weeding out who's good enough to make the roster and who isn't. And through training some of these smaller guys up like a Holyfield or like a J-Jaw or someone who's a fringe cornerback or something like that. That practice for them helps a lot. So, yeah, we've definitely gotten better in terms of a full roster standpoint.
Yeah, I hope that it all fixes. You know, you made a cool point. Not many people. Not, I don't think anybody said it on this yet. Calling out the coaches, I think that's a great point. I mean, you look at last year, we were really upset that Jim Schwartz seemed like he fell asleep during. He took a nap during halftime and never made any adjustments. So that's a really good point, man. That's a really good point. So are we a playoff team? Last question before we get you got out of here.
That all depends on the division, and on it, it's competitive every year. I say it all the time. We can be first, we can be fourth. Honestly, I think we'd be either fringe playoff through division winning or through wild card, because I see us winning about 8 or 9 games. But it all depends on the division, because for the past few years, it's been very, very competitive. Even through besides our Super Bowl season, for like the past decade, it's been at least somewhat competitive. And this year's no different.
Facts. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, man. We're gonna get these last two people on here, but you have a go, man. I appreciate you coming through.
Hey,
Appreciate
thanks for
it,
having
bro.
me on.
Yes, sir. God bless. Have a good night. And quickly before we do get these last two people on, shout out to my guy Philly 500, the other goat. We just got a bunch of goats in this building. I know Joey and 500 hate when I call them goats, but the real goats. But he says, yo, look at these two greats. What up? Keep up the great work. We will be better than people think. I agree. I definitely agree. I think people are sleeping on us, man. So next we got Dennis Watson in the building. Dennis Watson, what's going on, brother?
Not much. What's up, Fresco? What's up, Shakes?
What's going on, man?
We chilling, bro. So the vibe is, the question of the day is, do you think that these Philadelphia Eagles are ready for the 2021 season?
Yes, but with a catch. I would say yeah. As far as like the coaches have done everything they said, as far as fundamentals, and I love the way Nick Sirianni, is on the field, hands-on, micromanaging, actually interacting with the players and all that stuff. And you can tell a big jump in progress from the players themselves. Now, the problem with it is, I get the live practices and all that, right? But there's only so much to it. I think it's good that they're showing out in live practices, but my fear is this. You're playing them preseason, and even though it's live practice, but when you're doing the preseason games, the speed's different, and you're not really getting the hitting aspect, and the hitting aspect is part of the conditioning. So I fear that they might be a little soft when it comes to getting hit during the real season, where the game is much faster and much strenuous. And on top of that, you're playing second or third. I don't even know if it's second, but you're playing not the starters, but you're playing the other second, third, whatever it may be. You're playing them the whole freaking game. Like, I know you're trying to get an idea of what you have and stuff like that. But at the same point, how do you know what you're really getting, because you're exhausting these players? They're not going to play the full potential. You know what I mean? You can't sustain that 3 or 4 quarters, whatever they're playing. That's a lot of time to be keeping like Milton Williams, Terry Petula, whatever his name is, got all of them. You know what I mean? Like, I really think it's a disadvantage than an advantage. I really don't think they're getting a real good grasp or aspect on what they can do because of the amount of time or snaps they're playing. Like, that's kind of my whole spin on it. Yeah, but go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I think that New England game was just a wasted game. I mean, if your offense is going 3 and out every single play and your defense is getting gassed the whole game, it was just a waste. I mean, I don't know. Joe, you were there.
Remind me. Keep reminding me.
Joe, you're probably like already going to get some popcorn or going to get a snack or something, because there was nothing going on for a while. But
dude, when I'm telling you, so I sat down, right? Me and my nephew sat down. And I'm looking at my nephew. I start the video up. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go live. And you could probably hear it on the video that I put up. And all I heard was, and now we're coming in at quarterback Joe Flacco. And all you hear is me just like, what? Like, I was like, what? Oh my God. And my nephew's looking at me like, bro, you got free tickets. Calm down. I'm like, you don't get it. You don't get it. I was so mad, dude. I was so mad, man. But Dennis, before we get you off here quickly, I just want to know, do you think we are a better team than last year? Do you think that we made a jump?
I would say yeah, for the simple fact of we had veterans on there that couldn't stay healthy. The talent was there, but the youthfulness wasn't there. It's no good having talent without having no youth, if you get what I'm saying. Now you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're old, your body starts to deteriorate and damage. And now that we have these young guys that's just been sitting in the background and they're finally developing, I think it was more of a gift than a curse. Yeah, we're going into the unknown, but what we had seem to be going backwards instead of where we at now going forwards, if you get what I'm saying. Because Doug really wasn't developing nothing.
Yeah.
He was developing a disaster.
Facts.
So I'd rather be in the position we are now than we were last year.
Big facts.
Yeah, no veteran favoritism, and not getting these young guys chances last year, and that's a huge problem. So I think we're getting over the hump now of now we have to see the development. Like, you could draft players, we could blame Howie as much as we want, but if there's no development, you're not going to get anywhere. So who's to blame for it all at the end of the day? I think this is the most production, and I think this is the most in an off season. I think this is the most production I've seen in a long time. Like, with multiple positions. Like, when I see all these linebackers producing, I'm like, I have to take a step back and say, wow, like, I haven't seen this in a while. And they're hands on with all the players. Nick Sirianni's working with receivers in their face, and he doesn't let someone be lazy, or he doesn't let someone run the wrong route, or whatever it is. Like, he's on everybody. He may be nice on the outside, but he's a tough coach. He really is. He's not that hoorah type guy, I don't think, but the guy is very technical in what he wants done in this offense, and whether it's defensively either. So, I mean, it's I think getting over that hurdle, we need to get to the development aspect of this roster. This way you don't have to go out and spend money on free agents. This way you don't have to restructure every single year. We had to restructure from $70 million over the cap. And look, we have $16 million right now. If you even trade or release Zach Ertz at this point, you'll have over $20 million in cap space right now. So the cap is going to get better. And Carson Wentz is going to start the first game this year, how it looks right now, if he doesn't get injured again, if he's rushing himself back. So potentially you could have 3 first-round picks plus cap space and a whole lot of decisions and choices you could make. And this team has already turned around. We've rebuilt this team twice already after Andy Reid, obviously, and now with this, obviously with the new coaching staff now. So things could turn around in a year or two. You never know. So it's exciting.
I hope so. I think we have the squad to do it. So I'm definitely excited for it. What's going on, Dennis? Let
me ask y'all one quick question.
Yeah.
What you've seen so far, when have you seen practices like this? Not even preseason games, because we really can't count those because they're really not playing the important people. But when have you seen practices like this where our wide receivers, defense, whatever, quarterback is going hard they are and performing at the rate? Like, they're throwing touchdowns. Like, we've been poor at red zone and even on defense.
There's a hungriness to this. There's something in the soul of this team that's just, there's something there, and it's the swag. It's something that's just, it's so exciting. It's young. It's a young roster. It's veterans not taking this team for granted. It's players that aren't safe from their positions. They're not safe with their jobs. Everybody is on notice all year, especially this offseason. So there's something there, and it just tells me this team. They're if we were there, I think it would have to take us being there at a joint practice. Wow, these guys are they're pressing hard in these practices. Now I understand why they're not thrown in games. So with some people, it's different with the preseason games. You're not hitting the quarterback. I understand that. But from what it looks like, these practices are hard. And Nick isn't playing these guys because they're Friday night. They're not playing anybody. Don't get excited. Don't get your hopes up. Yeah, they may not.
Tickets.
It's not. Yeah, don't spend $300 on tickets or flights, or don't do any of that because one person's already made that mistake. But just gonna say, like I just have a different vibe with this team. This is the most production I've seen in off season in years, and it's this coaching staff and. Howie has no control over it, not in some aspects, but I think they're getting prepared. And once come the first game happens, and when we go to Atlanta, it's we're gonna see. And I don't think this is like a mirage. Like we're seeing good things, but they're really gonna be bad. I think like there's gonna be some real serious production in these players this year. I do.
Yeah, I would even go as far as saying it's probably the opposite of a mirage. Like it's we're probably seeing bad things that aren't going to be really that bad because they're putting them in such bad positions. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're putting everybody in one-on-one, so that's not what's going to happen in the real game. You're not going to have Jordan Mailata, the only offensive lineman out there. So I'm excited, and like you said, I think Joey said it perfectly earlier that it's not just that we're getting good performances; we're getting it from position groups that we're not used to getting it from, linebacker, wide receiver. So I'm excited. I think that there's nowhere but up to go, right? And I think that we have talent there. So definitely, this is definitely a different off season. I make a lot about the practices, but like I said, we have to wait and see what happens. But I'm definitely excited about this team. I think that we're gonna like 500 said earlier. I think we're gonna be a lot better than a lot of people think. But Dennis, I appreciate you coming on here, man. I'm gonna get you off here. We're gonna probably end this up pretty soon. I appreciate you though.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir. God bless. Oops, sorry. All right, so we do have a couple more people, but unfortunately, we are gonna have to end this because I have stuff to. I'm not gonna lie.
I have to ask you one question though.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
So the final roster, okay, when it's all said and done, what's making me really nervous right now is J.J. Arcega-Whiteside because they gave this man 8 snaps. Okay? Let me slow down. So, because they gave him 8 snaps, like, you're putting the back end of your roster in that game against the Patriots. Why wasn't J.J. in longer? Or give him as much as possible. Line him up in different positions for the wide receiver position. Whatever you want to do with him, line him up all over the field. They give him 8 snaps, and they just put him, they put him away.
Yeah.
It's like they're protecting him from getting injured. But why? That really frightens me.
That's a great question. And you know what kills me is that a lot of people are saying that he's probably going to make the team. You know what I'm saying? And we haven't seen anything. And he's been a practice guy. He's been every year, it seems like that he's been here at least. We hear great things about him in practice, and he does absolutely nothing in the game. So it brings me back to my point of that these practices make me nervous because they're not games. You know, we can mold and make everything so situational.
Yeah, I understand that, but the thing is, it's not like you're seeing J.J. Arcega-Whiteside catch 2-3 touchdowns in a joint practice. Okay,
that's true too.
That's what, like, he's been in the slot facing Josiah Scott, or like even with the Steelers game, he was in that one time, and the corner ran the route for him. I mean, it was just he was covered. So I mean, it's not like he's out there catching touchdowns at joint practice. Like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, oh my god! Like if I heard that, I'd be like, whoa, what's going on? But really haven't heard
I don't
that.
think he should be on this team. He shouldn't be on this team. I mean,
That's
plain and simple.
That's why, like, now I don't know what's. I think John Hightower with an amputated leg is more healthy. It's more healthy, all right, than J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. All right, so, and Travis Fulgham's been really quiet. He had a good catch today, had a good catch the other day, so he's been kind of quiet, nothing crazy, but Travis Fulgham has always had these, like, real quiet camps, and even last year he had a quiet camp, and then all of a sudden he's in the game, and look what happened. So I really don't want Travis Fulgham or John Hightower to go. Like, I really don't, and I swear to God, if JJ is on this team, I'm telling you, I don't know, and I'm telling you right now, if he is on this roster, it's because of Howie Roseman, and that is the only reason why. Period. They said last year. Last year they said he looked good. Like last year it was like, oh, you know, Howie Roseman said, oh, second year he's looking good, he's gonna be great. You know what I mean? And then like at practice, oh, he looks fast, he looks great. Like he looks like looks. I mean, that's the key word, looks.
Right.
But nothing happened. So I hope he doesn't take one from Travis Fulgham or John. I really don't. I really hope not.
And that's the thing. I keep on saying this. I've said this about, Jalen Hurts. Some people are just gamers, you know what I'm saying? And some people suck when they get in the game. So, Jalen Hurts was I don't want to say very, but he was inconsistent in one-on-ones. He was inconsistent in individual drills because the lights weren't on, I feel like, right? But once you get into 11 on 11s, it seems like the man don't stop. So once it gets into like game time situations, I think we see different things from different players, but we haven't seen anything from J Jaw, like ever. I can't, I have so many people that try to back him up and try to, say, oh, but he's good at this. He's good
a
at
fumble
that.
recovery for a touchdown. I mean, what? That's it. Like, that's what I'm getting out of him. And what? Like a drop pass. I mean, yeah, there was 2019 at the end of he was hurt that year, but he made a couple good catches like the last month of the season. But I mean, they didn't keep him in the game. They put him right to the sideline. So that's another thing that used to just piss me off there all the time is they make these good catches and they run to the sidelines. Like, keep the hot hand in the game. They don't do that. But I'm seeing a whole different monster with this wide receiver core without JJ in it. JJ's not getting playing time, okay? It's never happening. Never happening. It's a dream, whatever. But everyone's like, well, he's good at blocking. He is a good blocker. He's good at blocking. I'll give him that, but come on now. It's like putting a running back in that can't run, but he's got good pass protection. I mean, it makes no sense.
Facts. That's the one person I've said this from the jump. I cannot stand that man. And that I try not to hate on anybody on this team because if he's great, I would love to have him on the team, right? But maybe not. I really just don't want to deal with him anymore. Like I'm cool with him bringing his umbrella somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I'm totally cool with that. I have nothing wrong with that. If he's the guy that we miss out on because we gave up a little bit too early, I'm okay with it because he just pisses me off, to be honest. Like, I'm good. I'm good on him. Yeah. Totally good on him. I have no good words to say about J Jaw. I literally never make videos about J Jaw because I just can't stand the man. I think he's trash, to be honest.
I don't know. I figured he was like an Alshon Jeffrey clone, but a little bit more, just a little bit more athletic and a bigger body. I mean, we do like those bigger body receivers, but it's just that's it. After this year, it's it.
Grimes. Rather bring back Trayvon Grimes. Give him a chance. J-Jaw just ain't got it, man. J-Jaw
I'd rather bring Matt Collins back right now.
Facts. I'd rather you go out there and play wide receiver.
I'd rather bring back DRC. He could be on this. He could be in an alleyway. Or no, he could. I could bring. You don't even know. I'd rather bring Doyle Green Beckham back right now, and he's probably not even playing football.
He said Todd Pinkston is better. Look, shout out to Todd Pinkston. He follows me on Twitter, so you might be watching this. So I agree 100%, and I'm not saying that in a mean way. But listen, man, Joey, I appreciate you coming on here. I know this was very, very last minute, and I'm very sorry to the guys that are in the call-in, guys, but I do have stuff to do. Next time, we'll do this again, man. It is what it is. But I do appreciate you, Joey. You already know you like family, bro. And I appreciate everybody that came in. Watch, we're still at 60 people. One more time, I do just want to let you guys know tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we will have Fran Duffy on the show. So if you are not a member, you won't see it till 7:30. But if you are a member, you'll see it at 1 o'clock. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I look forward to that. But Joey, is there anything you want to say before we get out of here to these beautiful people, man?
Guys, like Thursday, Friday with this game, like, don't get excited. Don't go crazy. He's probably not going to start anybody. It might be one of those games where if you want to just, sit up, have a drink, and watch the game, it is what it is. But when it comes down to it, like, after this week, it's time, guys. Like, the season's going to start soon, a couple more weeks, and we're going to see what this team is all about. It's exciting. It's a youth movement. It's a lot of new faces. And obviously the main bolt that holds everything together is Jalen Hurts. So, this Jalen Hurts has to work out. He really has to work out, depending on if we have 3 first-round picks or we have 2 1s or 2 2s, whatever it's going to be next year. This is going to be really important. I never say, I know Jalen Hurts is going to play well. I don't know if he is going to play well, but from what it looks like, he's very poised. He looks like he's going to be Nick Sirianni is going to use his mobility to his advantage, and he's not trying to turn him into a different quarterback. So it's going to come down to Jalen Hurts. It all starts with him. But really, other than that, if you guys haven't checked me out, Joey Shakes 72, that is my channel. I will not be I'm not doing a play-by-play live stream. I kind of made up my mind today. I'm not going to do the play-by-play live stream Thursday. I'm just gonna do a post game stream Friday night. Friday night. I'm gonna do a post game Friday night after the game. Thursday night I'm gonna do a stream anyway tomorrow night. So yeah, check my content out. We cover the Eagles every single day. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, if you're not following my man's Joey, you wasting time. You wasting time like the Eagles wasted that second preseason game. You know what I'm saying? Wasted my 300 damn.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say that $300 was wasted.
I'm never gonna get over it, Jeff. But like I said, man, thank you so much for coming on. I know it was last minute.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, y'all know what it is. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here.
B. Scott with the Philadelphia
John
Eagles.
Dornbos here of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Edwards of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Follow my guy Joe Castro on his YouTube/podcast channel.
Let's give a shout out to the Philly podcast.
Shout out Philly and my guy Joe Castro. So keep on doing great things, guys. Fly Eagles Fly.
Fly Eagles Fly.
Go Birds.